Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we're gonna try to get the valve covers painted on the Cuda and get the valve cover gaskets changed. Maybe get the fuel filter on it so I can get closer to getting this thing running. So stay tuned and we'll work on that a little bit. But first I gotta ride the XR up there because I don't want to walk back and forth all day today. So we'll see what we can do. Alright, let's see here. Okay, so I'm going to run down to my shop real quick. I'll bet you these are like a 3/8 or 7/16. So I'm going to get them pulled off. I'm going to have to sand these a little bit. These are glued on usually really quite well. The glue that they put on those is pretty amazing. I wish I knew what it was because I'd probably buy it to use for some of my own stuff. So it'd be pretty cool. But anyway, I'm gonna get that stuff done up real quick, get those off, probably get them painted today, maybe. But then I'm gonna try, I wanna hook the fuel pump up. The tank looked pretty clean from what I could see down inside of it with a bore scope the other day. So I could probably make this work out pretty good, really. So let's see here. Kind of a pain to video myself, but that's all right. This little car don't have power brakes and it don't have power steering, but it's got AC. I'm kind of excited to see how clean it is or dirty it is underneath these valve covers, so stay tuned for that for sure. I'll get the breather off of there. It's not what I'm after. I'm trying to get the whole dang thing off. Let's see if I can get a flat screwdriver out of my bag here. And we'll get underneath the edge of that to pop it up a little. Let's make some pliers now. Got to be able to get rid of these zip ties. Dang, I got a little dust in there, but I'll have to blow that off and wipe it out real quick. I'm gonna use this to wipe it. Yeah, so other than a little bit of dust I just barely got in there, I'm gonna have to get out. That thing is freaking spotless. So I think we're gonna run with this engine. Just gonna make sure I get it all cleaned out really good. I might have to get my little vacuum to clean it out with or something. Yep, looks pretty good again. She's spotless. It leaves a little air and blew her out. So we'll pull that valve cover gasket off when I come back. I think I'm going to take this and lay it across there for now. Just keep dust out. So I'm going to go get this one valve cover done real quick. I got this one here already off, so nice and clean inside. So I'm going to walk down and start working on this. And we're going to get these painted up a little bit. Might paint this too since it's kind of rusted. But I'm going to leave those little aluminum pieces alone and try to mask them off so I can get this done real quick. So stay tuned for that. Alright, so I decided to pull the other side off. I went ahead and did it off camera. But it's just nice and clean just like the other side. So we'll get these valve covers all painted up and then we'll get some gaskets, new gaskets on them and get them back on. So stay tuned for that. Alright, so I got these valve covers primed. I got one layer of paint on them. It's kind of not working out real good. It's kind of, I think it's probably too cold. It's kind of, I don't know, I can't see my breath anymore out here, but they're kind of a little, they kind of bubbled a little bit. I wiped them down with some mineral spirits that I got right there to try to get all the grease off. And I got it all off, but there's just some little pits with oil pockets that I keep hitting, so having a hard time with that, even though they got a layer of primer on them. But I might have to pull them off and redo them. I'm going to put them back on today, but probably in the springtime when we do a bunch more work, we'll start doing some of that stuff in the spring. So we'll get them back on here in a little bit and we'll kind of go from there and see if they look okay. I'll probably get one more coat of paint on them, see if it'll maybe, it kind of knocks those bubbles down every time I hit it, so maybe we'll do that. We only got one layer on there, but it's kind of thick and I'm trying to not let it run. I got a couple runs already. All right, so it's starting to get evening time and the sun's going to go down here pretty quick, but I just wanted to show you guys what I'd done. So my daughter wanted me to paint the engine in this car, so we cleaned up a little bit of it and painted the valve covers. Valve covers didn't turn out as good as I like, so we might have to go over them again and do another coat on them. But I'm kind of digging it. I like the color. So here, I'll turn you guys around and show you what I got going on here. Alright, so here's what we got going on. We cleaned up everything the best we could and just kind of painted around everything. Got on the hoses and stuff, but I don't really care because I'm getting all new ones. But see, you can see the valve covers now. We got the chrome. The chrome's a little pretty shiny actually. I got it pretty polished up. This, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. Either a new one or paint that one so it's not a rusty. But we got to do a little more paint. I need to pull the carburetor off, but she just wanted to see how it was going to look. So there it is, nice purple. Man, we got a new fuel filter on here, but I forgot to grab a piece of hose. I need a piece that's longer that goes from the pump up to here. Well, from here down from there to the pump. So I'll get another piece for that. And then I think I got a radiator that's going to fit in here since this don't have one. I've got one out of a small Dodge motorhome, and I think it looks like it might work. I may have to re-drill a couple of the holes on each side here to make it fit. But it's got the hose orientation in the right place, and I believe it's narrow enough and it's going to be shallow enough from top to bottom that it should work pretty good. So that's going to probably almost wrap it up for this video. And I'm getting ready for New Year's, so I'm ready to go in and relax with my family and play games or something. So we'll see what happens here But yeah, you can see how shiny that is now. It's pretty shiny. I polished those out pretty good. They got a little pitting going on, but they're pretty shiny. But I just figured, yeah, it looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to have to mask things off, and I want to paint all the inner fenders and everything, because I don't think I'll take those off, because they don't really have any rust in them anywhere. They look pretty solid. So I don't know, maybe I'll pull them off when I pull the fenders and paint everything that way. But until we do like an engine rebuild or put a bigger engine in this thing eventually, but I don't know. I might leave the 273 because it seems to run pretty good. And it's supposed to have 10-to-1 compression and stuff, I think, off the tag that we were looking at on the engine. So if it's got as low miles as it says it has, then it's probably pretty good. It doesn't seem to burn any oil or anything. But I want to get a radiator in it, and I need to get so I can hook up the tranny cooler lines, because they're just hanging down there. And then we can start seeing if this thing will run a little bit and see if it'll go into gear. Maybe try to run it around a tiny bit out here, do a burn off or two or something after we get a seat in it. All right, so a lot of the time I don't get off work until, shoot, 5:30 sometimes. It's already dark out when I get home, so I don't get a lot done on this car because, as you can see, you know, it's outside. And I don't really want to be out here after I froze to death all day outside at work, where I run a service truck for work. So I'm outside pretty much all day, every day. So when I get home, I'm kind of beat sometimes and too cold to get out and do anything else. But we'll keep getting something done every week at least on this thing, and try to get some stuff done. And hopefully get some more parts soon so that I can keep going. But, oh, and also, so I took a bunch of old car batteries I had. I took them into O'Reilly's. They'll give you like $10 a battery at O'Reilly's. So I did that, and that's how I paid for the purple paint, and that's how I paid for the valve cover gaskets and my new fuel filter and all that stuff. So I'm basically just recycling junk out of my yard to keep this project afloat. And now that Christmas is over, we'll have more money to put into it, but before now, it's been kind of rough with Christmas, and it takes a lot of money to have Christmas most times, so it is what it is. But we'll get back on track. So you guys all have a good new year, and I'll catch you next year.